Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we're going to take a tour of the most complex, most fascinating network on the entire planet. And the best part? It's the one that makes you, well, you. So let's dive right in and explore the incredible command center you're carrying around every single day.
So, let me ask you a question. When you think of high-speed networks, what comes to mind? Fiber optics, maybe? 5G? Well, what if I told you the fastest, most sophisticated network in the world isn't out there at all?
That's right. It is literally inside you, your nervous system. It's this incredible biological superhighway firing on all cylinders inside your body right now, sending countless messages at speeds up to 268 miles per hour. That's way faster than you can even blink. All right, so for the first stop on our tour, let's get a bird's eye view of this whole thing. I mean, how is this massive communication network even organized?
The easiest way to think about it is like your body's very own high-speed internet. Seriously. It's the biological wiring that lets your brain, the main server if you will, talk to every single part of your body. We're talking fingertips to toes in a non-stop, constant stream of data.
Now, this whole network is basically split into two main parts. First up, you've got the central nervous system, or the CNS. This is your command center, the brain and the spinal cord. And then you have the peripheral nervous system, or PNS. Just think of these as all the network cables branching out from that command center to connect to, well, literally everything else.
Okay, now let's zoom in, like way, way in. If the nervous system is the internet, then what are the individual messages? What's actually carrying all this information? Well, it's time for you to meet the absolute star of the show, the neuron.
The neuron is the basic building block of this entire system. And get this, you have about 86 billion of them. Each one is this super specialized cell that's been designed for one job and one job only, to pass along electrical signals called impulses at mind-blowing speeds.
So, how does one of these little guys work? Well, a signal's journey starts right here, at the dendrites. You can think of these branchy things as the neuron's tiny antennas. They're always listening, constantly picking up signals from thousands of other neurons. Once a message is received by the dendrites, it travels to the cell body. This is kind of like the neuron's headquarters. It processes all those incoming signals and has to make a very important decision. Is this message important enough to pass along? If the signal gets the green light, it's sent zipping down this long tail-light cable called the axon. This is the main transmission line, and it's built to carry that message over what can be, for a cell, some pretty long distances. Now this is where it gets really cool. To make sure the signal travels super fast, the axon is wrapped in something called the myelin sheath. This fatty layer works just like the rubber insulation on an electrical wire. It keeps the signal from fizzling out and lets it travel up to 120 meters per second. That's faster than a Formula One car. This is one of the big secrets to our system's rapid-fire communication. And finally, the signal reaches the end of the line, the axon terminals. This is where the electrical message gets passed across a tiny gap to the next neuron, starting the whole process all over again. And believe it or not, this happens billions of times every single second. Okay, let's zoom back out. We've met the messengers, which are the neurons, so now it's time to visit the main headquarters. Welcome to the brain, probably the most complex and powerful object in the entire known universe. You can think of the brain as having three main departments, right? The cerebrum, that's the big boss. It's where all your thinking, your memories, your personality, all that stuff lives. Then, in the back, you've got the cerebellum. It's the master of movement and balance. It's the reason you can ride a bike without even thinking about it. And then there's the medulla, or the brainstem. This is the silent, tireless worker in the background that just keeps your heart beating and your lungs breathing, all on autopilot.
So, most of the time, messages have to go all the way to the brain to get a decision. But what happens when you just don't have time to think? Well, your nervous system has this absolutely brilliant, life-saving shortcut for that. You know what I'm talking about, right? We've all done it. That instant automatic reaction where your hand is already pulled back before your brain even registers, ouch, that's hot. That's not just you being fast. That's a very specific neural pathway doing its job.
It's called a reflex action, and it's a protective shortcut that's all about one thing: pure, unadulterated speed. To save those precious milliseconds in a dangerous spot, the signal completely bypasses the brain and takes a little detour through the spinal cord instead.
And this shows you exactly how it works. A sensory neuron screams hot. That message zips to the spinal cord, which immediately, no need to consult the brain, sends an order down a motor neuron, which then tells your muscle to yank your hand away. Your brain only finds out about what happened after it's all over. Pretty amazing, right?
All right, for our final stop, let's look at the actual flow of information. Because, it's not a one-way street. This is a super dynamic, two-way highway with information just constantly flying in both directions.
You've got two kinds of traffic on this highway. You have sensory nerves. This is all the input. They carry all the information from your senses to your brain. They're like the reporters out in the field. And then you have motor nerves. This is the output. They carry the commands from the brain out to your muscles. They're the ones that actually get things done.
So, when you put it all together, what you've got is this incredible, non-stop conversation happening between your brain and your body. It's this constant flow of input and output that keeps you breathing, moving, thinking, and experiencing everything around you.
And that leaves us with one last really fascinating thought to chew on. We've seen how the brain and the nervous system run the entire show. They are the ultimate command center. But if your brain is in charge of everything, what exactly is in charge of your brain? Thanks for joining me on the tour, everyone.